Congratulations, you got a puppy. Nutrition is key for a healthy, happy pup. Even with the best diets, puppies may lack all the vital nutrients they need. Standard processed veterinary formulas help to fill those nutritional gaps. Our products work at the cellular level for tip-top health. Our supplements are based on whole food ingredients. We grow more than 80% of raw plant ingredients on our own certified organic farm. These whole food ingredients are the same ones that go into our human products, too. Adding a pup to the family is the beginning of a special journey. Make standard processed veterinary formulas and proper nutrition a key part of your pup's long, healthy life. Join the Pup Club today.
Hello, everyone. We are back for the second panel of the 9th annual PAWmicon here at Helen Woodward Animal Center. And I am very excited because I get to moderate this panel with two very dear friends of mine. Both of these women have not only been completely dedicated to rescue and animals and the amazing creatures that animals are, they also happen to be two of the most creative people I know. And they have entered all of our we have tons of different costume contests throughout the year. And for years, I would see these two women coming with their amazing creatures or beautiful dogs, and they would always have the most fantastic costumes. I got to know them very well because we so admired what they did, and so they are here today to teach us some of the tricks of the trade. And so I want to say hello to Jan Savage with Sir Ruffles Von Vicious, who is a Helen Woodward rescue. Hi, Jan.
Hi.
And then Mary Caraway with
Hi.
Bailey, and Bailey is a rescue of sorts as well. And hello, Mary, how are you?
I am great. Happy to be here.
Well, I see that both of your babies are dressed up, and you guys kind of are as well, Jan. I see your fabulous goggles, which one of the things that's really cute about what you guys always do is that you'll dress your dogs up and then you come usually with your own sort of, you become an accessory to your to your dogs and make their costumes that much more special. So I appreciate that about you. So I'm going to ask you
a lot of embellishing.
Yes, embellishing, exactly.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you guys, start with some questions, and I'll just kind of go back and forth with each of you and just kind of get your thoughts on these things. And I know that a lot of people out there like to enter the costume contests as well. And they will, some of them will say, well, do they buy costumes? Do they make costumes? So we're going to talk about all the cool ways that you guys got into this art. And I do think it's quite an art of showing the specialness of your beautiful creatures through these costume contests. So I want to begin by asking you, I'll start with you, Jan, and then Mary, if you could answer too. What is the first cosplay, like puppy cosplay event that you ever entered with your dog?
Good question. There's
hard to remember.
years, so I think whatever year you started this or the second year you've had it.
Do you remember, Jan, if it was, what event it was that you entered? Was it a prom? Was it a, what, because I know you came to puppy prom before we had, is that true? What was the first event? Do you remember?
Well, my very first event when I got him was the second year I got him, and it was a Halloween event here at your campus here. So I dressed him as a deviled egg. I saw a devil at Petco, and it had the little cape on it. I cut some felt out to look like a fried egg, painted a little bit to give it some dimension, and put a little shine on it, and made a little, not a trident, the pitchfork, and some felt with some cardboard in between, and that was his first costume, was a deviled egg.
I love that. And I love that you didn't just go with the standard devil. You went with the deviled egg.
Right. Just zhuzh it up a bit.
Zhuzh it up. And what about you, Mary? Yeah.
my first Helen Woodward event or my first
I
costume
think
contest?
overall costume contest.
So my very first one with Bailey was an event in Poway. We live in Poway, and there was the Poway Days Parade, and they had a parade. Inside of that parade was a doggy parade with a costume contest. So I made a covered wagon, and Bailey dressed as a cowboy, and I dressed as an Indian, and we won, and then I got the bug.
I got the bug. What year was that?
That was 1990.
Wow, you guys have been doing this for a long time.
A long time.
And one of the things that I think is so neat, even in your description, the very first thing that you guys did is it wasn't just a simple go and buy a costume. You guys have always done something creative to add to it. You dress up with your dogs, you make certain things, kind of hand make them yourself. And it really can be seen when you guys compete. There's just something that really stands out about your costumes. Let's see. What about, does your dog inspire you to create certain, like, do you look at your dog sometime and it's doing something and then you think, oh my gosh, I know what I want to dress them up as? Or is it?
For me, yes. I go with the moves, the tricks that Bailey knows. So he likes to sit up. So I thought, a lion sits up. So I put this little lion costume on him. You can't see it right now, but this works. And then I made a pedestal for him out of an ice bucket, put some colored tape on it, and he sits up on it, and boom, this fabulous costume.
I remember I remember that at our Puppy Love 5K. I've never forgotten it because I turned around. You were dressed up as like in the circus with a lion.
Yeah.
And yeah, or ringmaster, whatever. And Bailey was sitting up on that little, and I remember I was like, it was such a magical moment because it wasn't just the costume, it was the whole,
So I go with the little tricks that he knows that I can play on that.
Right. And what about you, Jan? Huh?
He doesn't know any tricks. He will.
That's fine too.
He'll sometimes sit if you have a treat, but that was back in the old days. But he's 14 or 15 years old now, so he just kind of does what he wants. But I think what was the first costume? The deviled egg. I don't try this peacock. I think I saw a cute peacock costume, and it was just a generic one. I bought it online, and it was just very blah, and it didn't fit him. They make like no necks on these costumes. So I added material to it. I cut the head off, added material to it. I put foam inside.
Oh, wow.
Up on top of his head the right way. It was for a birthday party last, so I added this onto it. This is a paper mask from Party City.
Wow.
Paper behind it and just tacked it on over the eyeballs here. Added a little feather to the top. It came with no feathers, so I glued some feathers on the back. Maybe I tacked them down with needle and thread.
And then boom, you got a fabulous costume.
And I changed this out.
It's dueling peacocks.
Yeah.
And I had it for the Pride Parade, I think, one year. They had a contest up there at the She-Fest or someplace. And I had it the NBC peacock, and now it's, Mardi Gras peacock, and very wide variety here. So
do you guys go to like Michael's? Where do you get all the materials, or the dollar store, or where are you going to get these things?
Yes,
thrift stores, the dollar store. You just start to look at things with a different eye. So like this right here from the dollar store, what I'll do with this is I would take this off, and then put this on a hat. And then boom.
Yeah. Oh, how cute.
And then this hat is interchangeable. So I would put this hat that he wears all the time, fireman hat. Boom.
Oh, that's great. So you know that this hat.
A camping hat. Boom.
Oh, that's great. So you find
the thrift stores, the dollar store, friends' garages.
Doll clothes, doll accessories.
Oh, baby clothes.
Oh my gosh, those are such great tips for
this right here is a little costume from the thrift store for $1, and it makes a good doggy costume.
Yeah, that's
You know?
great. Is that for a child?
This is for a child. It's a baby costume.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I would
It's for
cut
the
it.
dog. It's
So
for
you
her
can
bigger
see the little
dog.
baby. But I would cut it, and then this goes on the back of the dog. So it would go on Bailey like this.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's
So
great.
just everywhere. Just you just start to look at things with a different eye. You
Oh,
know,
I
a
love
little necklace can turn into a costume, a Cleopatra costume, a Mardi Gras costume.
Oh, it's so fantastic. And what do you have there, Jan?
This same thing was on a headband, and I just took the headband off of it, put some elastic on it so it could be on a hat. And then these are just little pom-poms you buy at Michael's and a little.
Is that like for rubber bands, like for hair?
Yes, hair bands. And then I just sewed on little pom-poms onto this little tiny hairband.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Details. And then these go on his ankles.
On his little feet.
Yes,
That's
yes.
so great.
I also wanted to show if your dog doesn't like to wear costumes, just add something to a leash. Just
that's
add,
great.
you get a leash, add a little Captain America printout, and boom, you got a costume. You
I
know?
love that. Now, let me ask you guys that, because that's a great thing that you bring up. So if I have, like, for instance, I've got 2 dogs. I've got one dog that absolutely says no to costumes. She does not like it. So I think that it's important that we know that everybody that loves their dogs, of course, as much as you guys love your dogs, we don't do it unless they seem to enjoy it. I have another dog, my dog Wilson. He's okay with costumes. I don't think he's as great as your guys' dogs are with costumes. Now, would you explain what it is? How did you guys get them to be so comfortable? I mean, they literally look relaxed in their costumes. Did you do something specifically, or what is it exactly that makes them look so?
Yes. For me, Bailey, I got lucky. Bailey does like to wear things, but if I notice that something's bothering him, say a hat or a costume, then what I do is I'll put it on him for maybe 2-3 seconds and give him a treat. So he associates something good with putting it on. And then you just add the time, you know, a little longer, and then before you know it, he's wearing it. That's what worked for me.
And so then that becomes something that you just put on right before the competition so that people
Correct.
can see it, and then you take it off after. Got
Right.
it.
Because you never want your dog to be uncomfortable. You just don't want that.
Yeah, because it's not gonna. Yeah, they'll shake it off. I've seen dogs shake off their costumes.
Yeah.
What about you, Jan?
The same thing. It was with a treat. With every fitting, he got a treat. So he knew it was a good thing. And then when we go out, if he's in a stroller, or I practice with the peacock costume up and down my block, and he's like, oh, I like this. I'm getting treats as I'm walking. People like this, and I'm getting all this attention, and he loves it. And I had a friend that was not a believer. How could you dress him like this? It has to be awful, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't make an event one time, and she went for me and took him with the peacock costume. And she's like, Jan, he really likes this. He knows, you know, and he's just proud as a peacock when he's walking around strutting his stuff with it. Or if he's in the stroller, he's like, here I am on top of the world. Everybody look at me.
Yeah. They get lots of attention, don't they, when they're all like that, and that always makes dogs happy. Yeah.
So what I wanted to show here is with felt. This is just felt, and you cut a hole in it, and he's a lemon head.
Oh,
see that? It's
you
just
literally
felt.
just made that out of felt.
Yeah, it's just felt with elastic on the back to hold it on. And so the possibilities are endless. You can do a lemon, you can do a hamburger, you can do an avocado. You can just do all kinds of stuff. You see that?
Mary, can you show how does it crisscross in the back?
It's just a tie.
A tie?
Just a tie in the back.
That's fantastic.
But you could crisscross it, yes.
The other thing I like about that is that felt is so light.
Yes, you know? It's just so lightweight.
It's soft and light, so it's not anything that's you know,
it
stiff
works.
or awkward. Yeah, I love that. That's so great. Okay, so then on those lines, while we're talking, and it sounds like you've answered this to a certain extent, but what do you think? What percentage of your costumes do you make? What percentage do you buy? Okay. And how do you kind of or do you do both, and how much of it do you buy and how much do you kind of add on to?
For me, I start with the theme. So whatever the event is, the theme that I want to do, then I start looking. I start looking at home. I start looking at the thrift store. So I'm going to say 60-40. I'll find something and then I'll embellish. So I'll add, glitter. I'll add fun glasses from the dollar store. So I'm going to say 60-40. 60, I'll buy something and embellish it. And 40% maybe I'll buy a doggy costume, but I always add to it.
Got it. How about you, Jan?
I think about the same. I did buy a chicken costume and it did not work. It was so heavy on him, beautifully done. But I cut the head off. Again, it didn't have a neck. So I used the head, I turned the beak upside down. I embellished the eyeballs. I made it, didn't have a little crown on it. I added that. And I just sewed material, again, foam in here, covered it up so it stays on top of his head and doesn't slide around. And then I just took a harness.
Oh, wow.
And just attached real lightweight material to it. And then this is a boa, a small boa from Walmart. And I added that, added little wings out of felt. It's light material, and I'm lucky he's older and he doesn't have teeth, so he's not chewing apart. And I did think one time a dog did try to go after the chicken. So I put a little thing, so when he walks, I put a little stuffing underneath here, so as he walks, the wings will flap a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Now I have to ask, because that to me, like I'm pretty creative, but that looks hard to do. And so I have to ask you, like both of you guys, do you sew? Do you use a sewing machine? Do you just stitch it? How do you sew it?
I use double-sided tape, Velcro, and elastic, and sometimes staples with tape over it. And hand sew.
Okay, so no.
Jan is a sewer. Yeah.
No, I hand sew. I do not use a machine. I'm allergic to them and bobbins. So I do not use a machine.
I just find a way for it to attach.
I spray adhesive. I just hand stitch things on if my glue gun's not going to hold it. And I just make sure to tack it on with a couple stitches.
Oh, very interesting. That actually reassures me, makes me feel like it's a little bit more doable, because it looks so well crafted. The foam.
Just don't look underneath.
The foam that Jan, the foam that you put into the head. How do you do that? It's that.
I have
like Michael's or something.
This was from Yardage Town, which no longer is. So I just bought a roll of foam. Bought a thicker one, like for a chair cushion, and put that up, and I just measure it and just kind of poke it in there, and then just sewed it in. So Ruff was a little dirty that day, or a couple of days. So then I just put material over it, and then it seems like a denser one. So more like a chair cushion.
Sure.
Cut it and put it in there, sew it, and it stays. But
that's
this
great.
Again, I use this as well, and then you have your choice of how thick you want to make it. You can sew it together, glue gun it together, whatever you need, and it keeps it from slipping around on the head.
Yeah, and it's so soft and light.
Yes, and it's light. Yes,
that's so great. What a great tip. That's actually something I never ever thought about, and I love that idea.
And one question we always get asked is, how do we keep the glasses on dogs? If you see Bailey, see how there's a strap around the ears and there's one underneath. These are dog glasses, but you can use people glasses and just put an elastic on each side of the glasses, and then just have it go around his head.
Got it.
So you
I've put foam around that too on the earpieces so it doesn't bother him.
It makes it real soft.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so then let me ask you this. How long would you say like let's go with your most extravagant. Now, wait a minute. Okay. I want to go with the chicken costume, which is very extravagant and well made. And then I know, Mary, you did Game of Bones last year.
Yes.
And that was, so I want to see how many hours it would take, let's say, to make the chicken costume or to make the Game of Bones costume. So,
Well, the Bone Throne took me 16 hours. So I knew PAWmicon was coming in July. So I started it thinking about it the year before, and then working. It took me altogether 16 hours working on it, an hour, 30 minutes a day. 16 hours to make the Bone Throne. Yeah.
You used dog bones, and you actually created that amazing Game of
Thrones. I used milk bones from the dollar store, 6 boxes of milk bones. I glued them on a black chair and then painted it.
And now it was a small chair. Where'd you get that chair?
It was made out of wood by my neighbor.
Oh, really?
My original chair was actually made out of cardboard, and then he said, "Oh, you need something better," and he's a woodworker, so he made me that. But my original chair was just out of cardboard. The Amazon box was the seat.
Oh my God, amazing! And how many dog bones did you use? 6 boxes.
361 milk bones.
Yeah. And then the costume itself.
So the costume itself was made by a friend of mine who is a seamstress. And she actually makes clothes for monkeys in Florida. And so wow. I told her, I know. And so I told her that my idea, and she made me a dragon costume, which was amazing. I brought it.
Oh, did you?
Want to see it?
Yeah.
Let me see. One moment.
Are you wheeling it in?
Okay. So this was the headpiece.
Unbelievable.
Which is unbelievable.
What's it made out of?
It's made out of vinyl.
Oh, really?
It's made out of vinyl, and this has foam on the inside.
So it's light.
Yes, it's very lightweight. And then the dragon costume with movable wings.
Wow.
I know. It's like an upholstered seat.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, this was an amazing costume.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed that I know someone who can sew so well.
Boy, I would say that's quite a thing. Most of us wouldn't know anybody who could do something like that. That's beautiful.
You'd be surprised when you ask your friends what else, what they can do, how they can help you. They get into it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you have a lot of artist friends.
I guess
people
I do.
That are creative types, which I think creative types attract creative types. Which, by the way, now Jan, I want to find out how long it would take you to make a costume like that chicken costume. But I also then want you guys to tell me how you guys met. Speaking of friends. So Dan, what's the length of time it would take you to make that chicken costume for us?
I don't know. Probably on and off for a week or two. I do, think a little bit how to put it together and what I wanted to do. Had a friend bring me some eyelashes to put on the face and on the eyes. I don't know. I just had to look at it and see what else it needed or didn't need or how it was going to fit Ruffy. So I don't know, a week, 2 weeks.
But that's interesting because I think some people, when costume contest is coming up, they're like, oh, what costume am I going to grab? But you guys actually put some time into.
We do. We think about it ahead of time.
Yeah.
As soon as we hear about the event, we're on it.
I love that.
And we help each other. We have a great group of dog mom friends, and one man, Tim. And we help each other. We share clothes, share glasses, share ideas, and it's amazing. It's so much fun.
So, is that how you guys became friends?
You go ahead, Jan.
So we met at it was Paws for Pink event at Liberty Station, and we were lined up for the contest. And another friend, Jeannie, said, really admired. Like, don't talk to her, she's the competition. And then she talked to everybody and she said, oh, I really like your costume to marry, so that's how we got started. And And we're, oh, are you going to this event? Are you going to this one? So there's like a little circuit of contests and events and yappy hours. So we just, that became our life, I think, is just, you know, because of our dogs.
And I had been going to dog events, and I admired Jan's costumes, and I would go like walk by and look, and then I'd walk by again and look, you know, and I don't know why I never asked her how she did it. I just didn't. I just would walk by, and then like a stalker, and then I'd see her again, and then yes, at the Pause for Pink event, it was actually our friend Jeannie, and then we just kind of clicked. It was like we knew each other, but we had seen each other, but we never spoke. And then,
how many years ago was that?
We just clicked, and it's been years, and it's been fun.
Yeah. How many years do you think?
8, 9, 8?
At least.
8 or 9 years, I think.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I would always, you know, we go to an event and see, is she here? I'd be with your friends, you know, is she here?
And I'd go home and say, oh, this lady had this fabulous peacock, or she had this fabulous Poop Patrol costume. And then that got my creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
So Jan is really the master. She's like, and we follow.
She inspired you.
Yes,
so
she's the inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, friends do inspire each other. So, you know, it's an interesting thing because, you know, so much about Helen Woodward Animal Center and the people that we get to know and love, we all, you know, the mission of Helen Woodward is people helping animals, animals helping people. And I have found that animals kind of bring us together, unlike anything else, because
oh my gosh,
I like the people here so much, and I like the people that I've met so much because we all have a heart for the animals, you know. So tell me a little bit, I'll start with you, Mary, and then I'd love to hear from Jan, what other animals you have at home, and are these the ones that you have with us? We're looking at Bailey and then Sir Ruff. Are they special in the fact that you dress them up and take them out, and is there something unique about them that makes them ideal for that?
Well, my other dog is a 12-year-old Shih Tzu. Her name is Cinnabella. We adopted her 2 years ago, and she doesn't wear clothes as much as Bailey, but she's getting used to it. I often take them out dressed alike, so that's a lot of fun. What was the other question?
Oh, just, you know, do you think that there's something, what is it unique about, for instance, Bailey, that he's totally cool with being dressed up? And I know you adopted Cinnabella a little bit. She's an adult when you adopted
Correct.
her, right?
It's 2 years
Bailey
ago.
too,
Well, Bailey was actually given to me by a lady where I used to work at a gym, and he was 2 days from going to the Humane Society, and she was moving, and she said, I can't take this dog. Does anybody want him? And I was looking for a dog, and then she brought him in, and she goes, okay, he's yours. And I go, now? And I mean, like right now, take him home? And she said, yeah. So I took him home, and then my coworkers gave me a puppy shower, and it was so special. And that's when I knew they gave me clothes, doggy clothes. And then Bailey just, he actually took his little doggy clothes and took them and put them on his little pillow that he got as a gift. Aww. And then I just knew that I just started dressing him, and he never complained.
How old was he when you got him?
He was, we think he was 2 years old. The lady that gave him to me didn't know. She had rescued him from a bad situation. And so she didn't really know how old he was, but the vet told me, according to his teeth, that maybe he was 2 years old.
And how old is he now?
2 years old.
And how old is he now?
So he's 15. He just turned 15 July 11th. I say that's his birthday because that's his gotcha day.
Got it.
So 15.
He looks like a puppy. And what about Sir Ruff, Jan? How long have you had Sir Ruff? I know you got him at Helen Woodward.
Yes, in 2009, my son graduated high school and was going off to college. And so I needed somebody at home besides my cats, which aren't very, you know. I used to make my son's Halloween costumes,
Oh,
So just kind of transferred on to Ruffy from it. I think he wants some water, or else he's got to go to the potty.
sure, that's quite all right.
So, and I have these two cats at home. They passed away, and I foster newborn kittens, Humane Society. And when my two cats passed, I adopted these two other little kittens. And Ruffy polices them. He's the boss of the house. And he's like, no running in the hallway. You know, if they try to run by him, you know, chase each other, he chases them. He says, no running in the hallway. And then he turns and looks at me. I did it, Mom. I got him to stop running in the hallway. They're bigger than him. He's only 8 pounds, and my cats are like 13 and 16 pounds. So size doesn't matter. Ruffy just,
How old is Sir Ruff?
I think he's 14 or 15. If I got him in 2009, so here they said he was 3 or 4 years old back then, 2009. So again, looking at the teeth, they said, well, he's 4 or 5. Then another vet said, well, he's 5 or 6. Then he looked at his eyes. He goes, well, no, he's not 15 or 6. Well, maybe he's 15. His eyes aren't too cloudy as a 16-year-old dog yet. So he's still spunky at times, and we'll keep him.
Yeah, they both, whenever I see them, they're both seem like little puppies. They're just, and I think part of it is how small they are, but they're also just so, you know, alert and lively and sweet. And
they really love to get dressed up. I show Bailey a little outfit on a hanger, and he goes like this, like, dress me.
Oh, it's amazing.
He has his own closet, I believe. She has a wardrobe, everything.
Yeah,
hangers.
he does. He has a whole wardrobe closet.
It's amazing. Now, have you guys already submitted a photo to the cosplay contest?
We did.
You did. All right. So you're going to be a part of the competition this year. What would you say as far as people who are considering getting involved with their pets this year? Do you have any specific advice for them as far as the competition or ways to stand out?
Well, first of all, it's for a good cause. So it's just fun to get involved that way and be a part of something, be a part of donating to a good cause. And then just do it. It's just fun. You go to an event and you see all the other pups, and sometimes there's cats or maybe even a rabbit or a chicken dressed up, and it's just a lot of fun, and it takes your mind off of everything else that's going on in the world, and it's just do it.
Yeah, I love that. What about you, Jan? Any advice for the people out there thinking about competing here?
It's, I think, kind of nice this year with just submitting a photo, because you have multiple opportunities to get just that perfect shot instead of the runway or the catwalk, and making sure the costume stays on. So it's kind of easier, but to get the right, you know, you take 500 pictures and like, okay, which one is the best?
Yeah,
and
that's true.
But it's fun to do. So, and we submitted, I posted a picture of his super chicken costume with the soup can. Can I did buy from, I think, Crate and Barrel's a garbage can or something. And then I have a nice friend who's very technical, and she made the label, and I covered it with clear contact paper, and it came out really nice. And then it became chicken schnoodle soup after that. So, and then after that, it's going to become chicken of the sea in a tuna can. I forgot the tuna can today. And then after that, it might be chicken a la king. I don't know. There's plenty of opportunities.
That's amazing. I have seen you do that, and I think that that's a very cool tip for people, that you will take a costume and then you'll utilize it again by creating something new out of it and adding something even more creative to it. I'm always impressed with that. That chicken soup, super chicken was very impressive to me, because not everybody, I mean, that's a classic that not, you know, a lot of the young kids don't know it, but I remember super chicken. And then the way that it transitioned, every time I saw it, I was like, oh, and now it's something even better and even better. So I think that that's a really cool thing that you do each year.
And also, it's about making memories. You know, you have these photos with your pup, and you just make memories, and it's so special.
You know, I think one of the things that you brought up, Mary, that I think is really something that we noticed at Helen Woodward is, you know, our adoption numbers really went up over the last few months because a lot of people were at home and suddenly we're realizing, gosh, I would like something that brings me joy and makes me laugh and takes my mind off my worries. And there's a lot of fear out there right now, and people have lost their jobs. And I think that you guys exemplify, you know, that making your pet your family member and loving it like it's, you know, and so have you, even, I know you guys are always with your pets, but have you noticed the way that they kind of the way that they've lightened your mood during COVID and everything that's been going on?
I noticed that Bailey's more barky. He, you know him, he doesn't bark all that much.
No.
And he is very vocal these days. We're home more, and he just, I mean,
starting to boss you around.
But he's very barky now. And he, you know, he just, I think he does love us being home, and so I just wonder, you know, how it's going to be when things get back to normal and we're not home as much.
Yeah.
But right now we're just enjoying it.
That's so great. And how about you, Jan?
I think he finds that I'm interfering with his nap time when I'm home. So, he's like, what are you doing here? You know, I'm sleeping, and I'll go out for a couple hours, and I come back, and he's still asleep. He doesn't know I've come into the room, but he can't hear too well now anymore anyway. But sometimes he gets a little antsy in the afternoon, and we go for a couple walks, and I'm like, come on, let's go see who's out in the neighborhood. So.
That's
he
nice.
Back for that. And we used to have a lot of play dates. We used to have a lot of friends come over, you know, play in the yard and everything, and that's not happening now. So
yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. That does change things. Let's see. So let me ask you a couple more questions, and then we're going to go to some viewer questions. So here's a question, but maybe you don't want to give it away. Do you guys have plans for PAWmicon 2021 when we're back live and in person with each other?
I do have some ideas.
Yeah, you don't have to give them away if you don't want to. Well, but I'm just wondering, how far out are you guys thinking about this?
Well, it's always on our minds, because PAWmicon is the event where you want to bring it. So we plan. So I might be reimagining one of Bailey's other costumes, bring out something from the vault.
Got it. Oh, we'll be excited to see. What about you, Jan? Do you have ideas?
I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I'm at Christmas and at Valentine's Day, if things come back around. So
you have some ideas for those? How many competitions do you guys normally enter in a year?
Well, I'll tell you this. In October, one year, I think it was 2 years ago, we had 21 events in October. Yeah.
In October alone?
Yes.
In October. October's our busy month.
Wow.
We call it the season, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And it pretty much starts with the Bow Wow Brunch Cruise. I think that starts.
Yes.
That's early in October.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and we you know, we go online of Facebook, Instagram, Google, and just find dog events in San Diego, and then we see, you know, it's usually a fundraiser and with a theme, and then off we go.
Now, let me ask you this: are pretty much all the competitions that you enter, are most of them in San Diego, or do you go out of town to enter certain competitions?
Well, for us, it's always San Diego, but last year, go ahead, Jan.
Well, we went up to the Ritz-Carlton for CCI, Canine Companions for Independence. It is their big fundraiser, the Ritz-Carlton, and Miguel. and they have different categories. A lot of these events have different categories you can enter. So there was, do you enter in best in show? Anyway, there was most creative.
Anyway, we both came home winners.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was our first time going out of San Diego for a dog event, and it was fun.
They probably didn't know what was coming when you guys came, because
they didn't know we were coming.
Absolute experts in the field. I mean,
they had some good costumes there.
Yes.
Mary took the whole shebang. She won best in show.
What were you guys dressed as? What were each of your dogs dressed as?
I did Game of Bones.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a hard one to beat with 360 bones on it.
And
what about the Ruff? How was
we
he
did chicken schnoodle soup.
That's a great one too. I love that.
His soup can was on the like on a table, a gingham tablecloth that a friend made, and thank you, Stephanie. And it was great. So.
It sounds to me like your friends really enjoy this competition that you guys do, because it sounds like so many of them have taken part. In fact, Mary, didn't you say somebody had built, I love that one you did that was like the claw coming down to get the toys. Was it the same guy that made the throne that made that machine?
Yes, that was, that was my neighbor. And
we're frozen.
He actually the claw machine. He made the claw machine, and then I painted it. Him and my boyfriend Joe made it together, and then I painted it. But the chair, the base for the bone throne, was his last project. So,
really?
but yeah. So I know somebody that can build me things.
That's lovely. Yeah. I mean, you guys have people that sew for you and build. That's very, very cool. I think that what that says to me is that your beautiful dogs are bringing joy.
Oh my gosh. You know what else I do? We do, how Bailey doesn't walk much. He likes to ride because he stops and has to sniff at everything. So I always make him a wagon or something he can ride in, a little car. So I do test runs or dress rehearsals down my street, and the neighbors come out and wave to Bailey, and I'm really just testing it out to make sure nothing falls off or what I need to tighten up. And
it's like a parade.
And the neighbors, yes, it's a one dog parade, and the neighbors just love it.
That's really cute.
And even my neighbors get in and offer advice, and it's fun.
I love that. Well, I actually am getting a slew of questions, and because we only have like 19 minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and jump in with some of them, because I want as many people as possible to get some of these questions. I love this question, and it's putting you guys on the spot. So if you can't think of anything right now, don't worry about it. But somebody asked, how can you incorporate cosplay with maybe a service dog vest? Like if you had a certain vest for the dog, is there a way to do something? You can
just Velcro a little cape. Velcro a cape to each side of the vest.
Got it.
That would work.
So you get where you get like sticky Velcro or something?
So peel and stick Velcro. You can buy it again at the dollar store, at the yardage store, at Michael's, and peel and stick, and then stick it to each side of the harness.
Oh,
does that answer the question?
And I would put one on the back
to make it stay.
To make it stay centered. Mm-hmm. And with Ruffy, he wears a harness with the D-ring right here. So I put a hole in whatever.
Great.
To make sure the leash comes up through the hole, and then it's going to stay on and stay centered. So
I love that. It keeps the perfect.
Also,
so stay there.
Scarves like this, everybody knows this is Harry Potter.
Yeah,
a Harry Potter scarf around your dog's around the neck loosely. Maybe attach it also to the harness. Yeah, and you've got Harry Potter.
Where did you get that scarf?
I think I got this at the Halloween store.
Got it. Yeah, that's great. That's a simple, cute way to dress up your dog and still be able to keep their.
But attach the costume to the harness, so the dog's already comfortable and they don't even know it's on.
I love that. Okay, here's a cute question. What is the strangest, weirdest, oddest item you've ever used when you're creating a costume?
Oh my. Oh,
Um,
I don't know. There's
No.
probably been many of them. Oh,
These-
there you go, Jan.
I made him a little scuba outfit. So water bottles.
Oh, cute.
And again, just attached it,
I know.
those harnesses with the clips. They have to be Velcro. So
Oh, yeah, that's great.
just attached it on here, I think with duct tape, it looks like. And then I probably sewed the duct tape on. And again,
With needle and thread, Jan?
yeah, that's how I sew. And the D-ring is right there. It comes up between the water bottles.
Oh, look, you have a little fish on that. So you put a little,
Yeah,
little wire.
so this is floral wire, and I just wrapped it around the bottles, taped it on a little bit, and there used to be 3 or 5 fish on here.
Oh
And
my gosh, that's so
as he
cute.
walked, they kind of
Isn't that amazing?
swimming.
Oh, I love it.
And then I made this little,
Oh my gosh.
it just would stay on the top of his head. And this was a muffin container from Vaughn's, you know, the 4-pack of muffins.
Yeah.
This style anymore, I don't think. Maybe someone else does. This was a can cozy that you keep your drink cold in.
Yeah.
Can in there, so that's just foam for that. And then this was from a Dollar Tree or something, and it was in the little toy game section where you blow in one end and you keep the little plastic ball up in the air by your breath blowing through the tube. So I just kind of put that on there, and then this, I put wire through this straps, and this just sits on top of his head.
I have to ask you, Jan, because that's really incredible and so creative. Did you have the idea, the concept in mind first, and then you started looking for those items?
Yes.
Got it.
Sits on his head like he just finished diving.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that amazing? It's so good.
So
This is a Christmas tree skirt.
Oh my gosh, that's
You see that?
great.
It's just a Christmas tree skirt, and I just put it on Bailey. Boom, a costume.
Oh my
Kind of unusual.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that the
great.
cutest?
Yeah, I'm very impressed. You guys, it's like, I mean, I think a lot of people will say to me, I'm not a creative person, so I don't know. But I've always said, you know, if you get an idea in mind, it's really about just looking, right?
Yes, and that's the fun part, is the hunt. The
Yeah.
hunt of finding things that will work, and trial and error, and that's a lot of fun.
Love
And
that.
if it doesn't work, you have a lot of stuff to donate.
Yeah.
Give to someone else.
So here's a question. You guys have already kind of touched upon this, but I'm going to ask real quick, just for your quick tips. They say it's hard to keep costumes on dogs. What are your tips for getting clothing to stay on?
Oh, Velcro, elastic. When you put a costume on your pet, you'll have your pet walk around, and you see where it starts to jiggle, turn sideways, and then you just you can attach it to the harness, attach it to the collar, maybe. Just you find where the weak spots are, and then just find a way to attach it. I've even used safety pins. Of course,
Like a harness or something to keep it.
Tape, double-sided tape.
Never on your pet, I'm assuming. The double-sided tape would go on the harness or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Never on the hair.
Just to make sure we're all clear.
That'd be hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you want to do a dress rehearsal and find the weak spots, so that the day of the event, you're not fumbling, because you want to have fun.
Yeah.
And if something does fall off, just go with it.
Now, both of your both Ruffy and Bailey, they both wear harnesses when you take them out?
Correct. Bailey wears
Got
see
it.
his little harness. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great, because it's
Yeah.
then you have lots of places that you can attach.
Right. And I've even poked holes in a costume, poke a hole so the harness The leash comes out, and then that holds the whole costume in place.
That's great. That's great tip. Now somebody else asked, how much money do you think you need to create a great costume?
Well, if you shop your closet, you don't need anything. You can do a great costume for $5 shopping the dollar store. But once you start to tell your friends and family what you're doing, they'll start giving you stuff.
Yeah.
So you really don't have to spend lots of money, but you can. I mean, it can get up there if you want it to. But I mean, how many people have a scarf in their closet that they can just turn in, just put it on their dog and add a flower, and you have a costume.
Yeah, I know the one of the things I always try to tell people, like when we first started doing puppy proms and things over here, almost everything that I got, whether I was making corsages or whatever, I got them all at the dollar store. And I do think it's important for people to know, you know, you can make an award-winning costume, you can make something really cute for your dog that costs almost nothing.
Right. And also fabric, just say you have a blouse that you don't wear anymore and it has an interesting pattern, cut it up, make a little costume out of it, even just make a scarf out of it.
Yeah. So instead of throwing things away, find a way to repurpose them for your pooch.
Right.
I like that. Okay. Let's. If I wanted, so somebody asks, very patriotic. Now, how much of that is purchased? How much is made?
This is actually a Build-A-Bear costume. So Bailey fits into Build-A-Bear, and Build-A-Bear clothes don't cost very much, and it's amazing because they come with the accessories. This thing here costs $12.
Really?
And then I attach this. I just have it safety pinned, so that's how we attach little props.
Oh, that's great.
And, maybe put some
and then you can just attach it so you have the whole look.
Yeah, that's great. And then Jen, you just said maybe put some duct tape over the pin to make sure so that it doesn't open.
If it pops open, it's not going to go far.
Got it.
And I also find stuffed animals at thrift stores that have clothes on them, and I'm like, oh, Bailey needs that hat from that teddy bear, so I'll buy the teddy bear and take the hat off, and then redonate the teddy bear.
That's great. That is really that's a great tip. Okay, so somebody said if I wanted to make a costume out of things from my home, and I know you guys have already addressed this, but what suggestions do you have? Where would you start looking?
I would start in your maybe with your scarves, if you have a scarf drawer. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say without having the idea.
So for you guys, the concept comes first.
Correct. The concept comes first. Okay. So and then the hunt. And then like you start looking, like Jan looked at a water bottle and thought, oh, that would make a good, what's it called?
For your surfathon,
I wanted a water
themed costume, so I'm like, well, a scuba diver, you know.
Yeah, the scuba diver air tank.
Yeah.
Out of a water bottle. So then, so you're right. The concept comes first, and then the hunt, and then that comes together.
For people who've never done this, you would say that the first key step is to think about what you want the costume to be.
Exactly.
And then you start. You can go through your closets, your drawers, probably your garage. The recyclables, things that you would find and start
your decoration box. See, this is off of a headband.
Right.
Your Christmas decorations, your Halloween decorations, your Easter decorations.
I love that. So here's a question for you guys. And I know you've talked about it, but if you're going to get the things, like a little light from a dollar store, probably.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So if I was going to get the things to attach and secure, because, and I know you guys already said this, but let's just do a little list for people that are listening that want, what are the like items that you want to have to secure all these things to the costume? What are the things they should go out and buy to make sure they can secure everything to the costume?
Velcro.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time with the stick-on Velcro. It doesn't stick for very long. So you're going to have to play with it a little bit or buy the kind you have to sew on, but it's going to stay on.
Needle and thread.
Yeah.
Duct tape.
Strength, yeah, duct tape, industrial strength Velcro works well. It's gonna stick. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Safety pins. You always want to travel with safety pins, zip ties.
Duct tape. The wire. I've put this in costumes as well. This wire. It holds up. I think I have some in here. It wires it up and it holds it up in place.
Pipe
Yeah,
cleaners.
'cause I've noticed that Jan, you'll have like feathers and they stand up, and that's because you put wire in them, right?
I put it in the comb here. I did, and I have foam or stuffing under the wings here. Just
Got it.
a little, like, what's this stuff? Fiberfill? Under there to hold that up a
Just
little.
keeps the wings up.
Yes.
Got it.
And I also wanted to show how. See, this is from my Easter decorations, and
Oh,
I just put this on a leash, and now he has
Oh,
an Easter leash with Easter eggs.
Great.
So, and that's stuff I had at home, and it
Sure.
makes a fabulous leash.
And that's a great idea for, like I was mentioning, Willow, my dog who hates costumes.
Yes,
She wouldn't even know she had a costume on.
she wouldn't even
it's all-
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's suddenly festive,
Yeah.
and she doesn't even know it.
Yeah. So yeah, so Velcro, duct tape, safety pins, pipe cleaners.
The lip cleaners, that's good.
Yeah, just
Glue
whatever
gun.
you can find. Yeah.
Glue gun works. Spray adhesive.
I think we even used chewing gum one time at an event that I think there was a hat and the little decoration wouldn't stay on or something, or the elastic broke on the hat, and chewing gum. So
temporary
Crazy minds call for desperate measures.
yes.
I love that. I love these tips. They're so fantastic. Okay, so somebody said, I have 2 7-month-old puppies, medium size. Do you think it's best to wait until a certain age to bring them to an event?
I don't think so. I think, the little puppies are so adorable, and you get extra points right away for being adorable, for cuteness. So, if you have a little tiny dog and the costume doesn't quite fit, it's a little big, it's cute.
Yeah. Now, I've seen some people, and let me know what you think. Now, I've seen some people, sometimes they'll bring a dog, and it's the sweetest dog, but it's maybe kind of wild. And it's maybe, having a hard time keeping the costume on, and the other dogs are getting upset. Do you have any tips for people when if they're thinking about bringing an animal to a competition like that? Do you have any thoughts?
Treats. Keep them focused on the treat so they're not thinking about the costume, but you should practice a good 2 weeks with it. Don't just get an idea of something you see in the store. And if it's a pet costume, dog costume, don't think you're going to bring it home and it's going to fit perfectly. It's not.
Okay.
It's not going to stay on. It's not going to fit. They don't make the headpieces right because they shake their head, it's going to fall off. So what I do is I crisscross elastic. One goes behind the ear and one goes in front of the ear.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
He's got triangle ears, so I think it's, and then that one, Petco came out with this. And we were at a dog fashion show for Unconditional Fit line of clothes that came out, and Ruffy was wearing this hat just as, being in the audience. And a lady came up to me and she said, my daughter works for Petco and she designed that hat. I'm so that your dog is wearing it. And I said, well, kudos to your daughter because she made this right. It goes under the ear and it goes under the chin. So many times it's just one little elastic piece and it just falls off. So this is pretty good. So, and then if it's too big, put some foam in the top, or I have some lammy fur stuff here that I use for newborn kittens, and just cut a piece and put it in the hat so it'll stay, and then this will stay. So those are my hats.
And you want to just, you don't want to just put a costume on your dog and go to the event. You want to have your dog wear it around the house, maybe start a week before, if you can. So your dog gets used to it, and then the dogs feel if you're all nervous and you know,
yeah.
and so just be calm and just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, if your costume falls off your dog, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, I have to say, I have been, you know, I've been working at Helen Woodward for a little over 8 years. So I've known you guys pretty much from the beginning, and I am learning things today because I always dress animals up. I'm learning things today that I will take with me to use. Well, because we love to do cute little events with the orphan pets because it brings attention to these animals and gets them saved. I really, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys for always supporting our events and the other events around town that support orphan animals, and the fact that you understand that pets are family. Is Bailey getting some treats right there? What's
He's
going
getting
on?
some water.
Oh, well, he likes to drink it off your fingers.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a little salty, and this doesn't match.
Always have to make sure it matches. Well, it's 1 o'clock, you guys. Thank you for an hour of your time. I can't tell you how much we appreciated it. I love you both so much. I love your dog so much. And those are fabulous, fabulous tips. Thank you. I think
Thank you, Jessica, for
we're going to see a lot
always
of
including us.
Oh,
we love you
guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love Helen Woodward.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.